Okay, thanks for the reminder. All right, so now we're recording. Okay, so welcome to the Set Your Soul on Fire Surge. Okay, so Kevin and I were talking, and you hear from me almost every Thursday night unless I'm out of town. And so I asked Kevin if he would like to help me tonight to share a topic that we are actually very passionate about. And I need you to sit down. Yes, it's starting. We only have 15 minutes. I told you this already. And so your seat's right here. So Kevin wanted to kind of do a training for you guys and share with you a bit about a spouse's perspective on the business, since he has been, obviously with me since before I found Beachbody, and he's really sore from beast legs right now. He was CrossFitting for a year, doing heavy training, and he did beast legs one day. He can barely walk.
Terrible.
So that's awesome. So, okay, so we have till 10:15, and then Danielle will be jumping on. So you kind of just got to jump right in, babe. Take it away.
All right, so we were talking today, and hello everybody. My name's Kevin. I have been with Amy since the beginning of this business and before that.
Since I was 23, almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. And so yeah, we've done it all, like as far as growing the business and, and all the adventures that come along with that, and learning new skill sets and everything. So I just wanted to kind of talk about a couple things. First being, we get a lot of questions as couples and how we run our business and, how we spend so much time together, I guess would be the best way to put it. And a lot of it too is, did I always support her in the business? Yes, I did. We have always felt that as a relationship is a partnership, so we expect each other to support each other on whatever it is that we decide to do. So I knew that this was something that she wanted to do when she started doing it. I don't know that I really understood all that it entailed, but it was something that she wanted to do. Like, we did P90X together the first time. We did the meal plan together the first time. So there wasn't really we were always fit together. Even when we were unhealthy, we tried to be fit. So, it was never a question of whether I supported her or not. I never talked down about it. I never, really said, you can't do that or put you down or anything like that. It was never a question. She wanted to do it. I was like, great, do it. Run with it. And when she wanted to quit her job, we, had conversation about it and kind of figured out when we could do it and financially how we could swing it. And then I was like, great, if you can hit this, then hit it and let's do it. So it was never really an issue of like, you can or can't do it. It's not how we roll. And that's not how we've ever done things. So, yeah, so if you were to ask me the question, how do you get your spouse on board? I have no idea, because I was never not on board. That's not the way that our relationship rolls, but I can tell you a few things that helped us along the way. Because just because I supported her doesn't mean that it was easy for us the entire way. It's a lot of work to build this business, a lot of work. And that definitely cut into the time that we had together. That changed around our schedule and made going to dinner an adventure, because there was definitely a waiter who was going to get formed, or a bartender who was going to get formed, or a bus driver. I was more people face to face in my first year than I did on social media. Or a grocery store clerk, or a gas station attendant.
I did sign up one of my cashiers once.
Everybody was fair game. So that was an adventure.
So you have to stand there.
For sure. And it was kind of awkward. I've been in sales forever. But I'd be like mouthful of food, and she'd be like talking home. So, that was an adventure, but that was just something that we dealt with. And it was always communication as far as what she wanted and had goals for the business, and what that meant for us, and what you saw this being. And this was the time when there weren't overly a huge amount of success stories. There weren't like people.
There was like 100,000 coaches in the network.
Yeah, there wasn't people quitting their jobs left and right. There wasn't people leaving their husbands weren't leaving work and like all this stuff. It wasn't like that. It was just that we can make extra money on this. We can afford to do things. We can travel. All this great stuff. So I was like, whatever. And not to say that it didn't cause stress at times, because you do have to be kind of singular-minded. You have to really push yourself to hit your goals. So there's a lot of work involved in building the business. And sometimes, obviously, if we're both working a lot, that can cause a little bit of friction because you got to make time for each other. So on that note, one thing that I would definitely say is that, you know, and we talk to people all the time who this is an issue, you know, if you schedule time to be together, and we did that. We used to schedule dinner.
Guys, listen to this.
We scheduled dinner dates. We like scheduled movies, you know, we'd say like, we're going to go out Friday or whatever.
Our couple time is scheduled. So it was scheduled on the calendar. We didn't just do it when it was convenient. We had, like, literally in my calendar my first year, there was a slot that said Kevin, Monday through Sunday. Actually, Kevin got bigger slots on Saturday and Sunday sometimes.
Well, and whenever we could fit it in, because we both worked weird jobs that had weird schedules.
Yeah.
So,
we worked days, I worked nights, so we worked opposite schedules.
And so if we had like a random day off together, we would make sure to spend it together. But on the flip side of that, when we said we spend it together, we spent it together.
So what does that mean?
So that means that, you know, there were not like phones out all the time. There was not like conversations being had all the time. Like when we committed to like having time together, we spent time together. And you know, if that didn't happen, that was something that was
off in your bag, left in the car, be present.
Because like that's the thing. Like if you make a plan to go out somewhere and you're both together, but one person's on the phone the whole time, that's not really being together. So that was always something that we put down. You know, so just make sure if you make a commitment, you stick to it. That's just life in general. There's a life lesson for you. And then I would also say that communication is definitely key. You know, because a lot of times people get into this and they don't know what to expect, what the time commitment is, or what you're doing. You know, so she had to tell me a couple of times, you know, and I'm like, you're just always on your phone. What exactly she's doing on her phone? Like why she's on her phone? What it means? Like is she like scrolling Facebook or Instagram, or is she working? You know, and not to say that like I'm like you can't be on your phone, but just to say like open communication wise, like hey, I'm just trying to make some contacts while we're driving. You know, like
if you want to be driving and talking, I'm like, this is a perfect time for me to be able to get in some work.
And then we can hang out when we get to where we're at.
Yeah, and then when we get to where we're at, I put my phone away, and I'm like, but if you want me to be present when we're going to go do what we're going to go do, then I need to get this done now. You know?
Well, and that's the thing. You just got to talk about it because it's like someone just said that's how you and your husband are or whatever, and you just got to talk about it because you know you got to look at it from the point of view of like if you're the guy and you're driving and you want to just like have mindless conversation while you're driving. You know, maybe it's better for someone just to get some work done instead of just talking about nothing. But to move on, I would say we've got 5 minutes left, so I want to cover a couple other things. When we were at the point where I was able to stop working at Macy's and come home, you know, we took a pretty significant pay cut to do that, and we had to figure out how to build that income back up for Beachbody. And we, you know, spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. And one thing that we definitely learned, and that is if you take one thing away, if you and your husband or you and your spouse want to work the business together, one thing that is the best advice that, you know, we got and that we can pass on is that your spouse is not your assistant or your employee. And that's a huge thing. You're a business partner. Even if you are not working the Beachbody business, if you come home from your job, you're a business partner. So what that means to me is that maybe our duties are not always equal as far as Beachbody. Maybe she puts a lot more time in on that, and I finish what I got to do pretty quick. But that means that I pick up slack wherever else I can, so that you know we can continue to live the life that we get to live. And that means, you know, like whatever that means. Like if that means cooking a little bit more, or that means like throwing a load of clothes in, or like running to the store, whatever that means. You know, but we have open communication as far as like, you know, neither of us feels like the other one is slacking because we talk about whatever we need. And if she needs something from me relating to our business that I don't normally do, she asks me. She doesn't just expect me to do it. She doesn't, you know, we have communication about that. And that was something that like took a while, was that like, hey, can you do these 3 things? And I just slammed it. And I'm like, sure, you know? So you really have to have communication and know that it's a partnership. It's not an employer-employee relationship. And if you go that route, it's gonna be.
So how did we figure out what your role would be in the business?
So
and notice how I said how did we figure out his role? Not how did somebody tell us what your role was? Like, we can't tell you what your role is with your partner. You have to figure that out. So how do we figure out what your role would be? Because I did this for myself for 2 years before he decided.
And it's always an adjustment, so you have to know that. There's going to be like growing pains and things to learn throughout the whole thing. So we figured out kind of what I do and what I do now, and what I do is always evolving. What she does is always evolving. So we have assistants, we have things we delegate, and all this stuff. So really,
Danielle just jumped on.
The way we figure it out is that we play to my strengths, we play to her strengths. There's things that I enjoy doing, she doesn't like doing. There's things that I hate doing that she likes doing. There's things that neither of us like to do. So we look at those things and we see where we can play to each other's strengths, and that's been hugely important to us. Because a lot of times we leave a job that we don't like to come home to work, and you don't want to turn what you came home to work into a shitty job that you hate. I mean, because let's be honest, like we all have to work, we want to enjoy what we do. We have the ability here to really do what we can. Like I love being creative, I love writing, I love taking pictures, and I really enjoy developing our trainings and stuff like that. So I've really gone in that direction, and I've worked hard on that.
In the beginning, you tried to build your own beach bike business.
I did.
Your own top
and it made me miserable because I had high pressure. Like I come from a
sales. You tried to build your social media as a coach, and you just did not like it.
And I felt gross, and I really just hated it all the time. I did. Like I was.
We didn't enjoy that part of the business,
Yeah.
so we decided to make me the face of the business, and he supports me in the background, which is where he feels more comfortable.
And like we both have healthy egos, and
I think his ego's a little bigger.
But like I'm saying, that we had to learn all that stuff. We had to learn like how one person can step back. We had to learn what things we're good at. We had to learn all this stuff, and I think that
a lot of trial and error, just like the business.
With open communication and with really like looking at what you want and what you enjoy doing as a couple, and knowing that who was it? Mindy and Lee Lawhorn said something great. They said, they love each other more than they love their business. And that's something that's hugely important to me, is that, at the end of the day, our business is our business, and us and our life is ours, So I look at that, and I don't let, our business or the stresses from that dictate how I feel in the rest of our lives.
And our business gives us
the life that we get.
have.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't lose sight of that ever. Like the fact that like if we gotta put more time in, we gotta do whatever we gotta do, it happens because it gives us the life we get to lead. So
cool. Thanks, babe. All right, Danielle Natoni is here. I'm gonna promote her as a panelist.
Don't do beast.
His beast legs are having a hard time getting up. So let me get Danielle rocking and rolling. All right. So I don't know how this works. There she is. Okay. I thought I saw her. Where did she go? She's wearing red. I saw her for a second. Where did she go? Danielle. There she. Wait. No, her videos. Let's see if I can get her video. Part me, or is that her? I hear you, but I do not see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can't see me? Hold on. Weird. Can you see me now?
No.
Should be able to see. Okay, hold on. Preferences, video. Oh, hold on. Face, that's right. Super weird. Oh no. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna call you from my phone.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get off of this, and I'll call from there.
Okay. I know you guys can hear her, but we want to see her beautiful face, so she's gonna call me right back. See, another top coach, technical difficulties, it happens. I hope you guys are realizing that, it's not always going to be perfect. Everything you do is not always going to be perfect. You just got to do it. And let me see. I'm going to keep an eye out for her. Oh, here she comes. Yay, there she is. Okay, let me jump off really quick. If I can figure out how to turn off my video. How do I turn off my video? Oh, here we go.
Why aren't my...
Did I turn off yours when I did that too, Danielle?
Yeah, hold on, just my... I don't know why my headphones aren't... Oh my gosh. I'm adding to your technical difficulty. My headphones aren't.
No, you're fine.
Hold on one second. Let me see if this works. I may have to just go grab my regular headphones. Try one more time. No. Oh my gosh.
If you want to just talk, it's fine. They can take notes from your voice. Wait, there you are. You're going.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my headphones to actually like come on. Because I'm at, so funny story, and then I'll actually talk. So when we scheduled this, it was fine, not a problem, no big deal. And then Doug Moss decided to come to Dallas and do an elite meeting. So I actually just ran out from the meeting. So I am I was like, okay, I'll be right back. So anyway, that's what's going on. And so I'm just literally sitting here, but that's okay. We're just gonna do it without headphones. I don't know why my headphones aren't working, and so it's fine. So you can hear me okay?
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna take my camera off so you can concentrate on you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, as long as you guys can hear me, and then we're good to go. Okay, cool. All right, so am I good to start?
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't get a fancy intro. I'm just kidding. Okay, so anyway, you guys, thank you for letting me talk. If I sound quiet or hunched over, it's because, like I said, I'm in the middle of embassy suites, and I am, they're having an elite meeting inside for all those that want to be elite. So, but thank you for having me on your surge. I'm super honored. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about social media. And even though your coach is the queen of social media and has such amazing posts and is just so inspiring on social media, I wanted to spend a little bit of time with you specifically on a couple of things that I'm really passionate about when it comes to social media. So for those of you that may not know my background, it's not like I came into this with a huge social media following. When I first started as a coach, I barely had a Facebook page or profile, not even a page. And that was only because I had recently moved from Florida to Texas, and I wanted to be able to keep up with my family and showing them my kids. And so the only reason I even got a Facebook page was because at the time Beachbody said, well, if you have a page, you can sell our programs through Facebook. And I thought, oh, well, obviously more people will buy TurboFire if they can buy it through my Facebook. And so that's where it started. And honestly, my Facebook page started with, I named it Fit and Funky randomly, and I actually don't recommend that you name your page something strange. So the first tip I want to give to you, in my personal opinion, is to brand you, brand your name. I was able to make Fit and Funky work and make that into a brand that I'm more known for than I am for my own name. And I always joke that maybe the divorce gods knew that I would start this business as Danielle Henson. I would get divorced and go back to my maiden name as Danielle Katz, and then I would get married again and become Danielle Natoni. And so maybe they were like, well, that's why you'll be Fit and Funky. But for the most part, don't be like a fit girl's guide to running or journey from fit to fat. Or if on social media, you should be branding you. Now, differently from your team name, obviously you should have a team name and something that you feel culture and tribe around. But as far as branding you, your name matters, and so you should be branding your name. So my page, Fit and Funky, I didn't follow my own advice back then. I have been able to build up over time by showing up every single day. So my number one tip for you, and I'm sure you know this from Amy, is that you have to show up every single day. I think Walmart doesn't even close on Christmas, right? So you literally have to show up every single day. And that's the number one thing that's going to build your business. When I went through a public divorce, I still had to post on my page. And, you know, if I'm moving, I still have to post on my page. And if the kids are sick, I still have to post on my page. So it started with 1, and I'm now at 146,000 followers on Facebook, I think. And the thing about that is that 95% of that is all organic. I do not run ads very frequently. I don't even really know how to run an ad. I would not be the one that you would want to come to for advice on ads. Like, that's just not my jam. What I have done is been consistent over time, showed up every single day. And I know that Amy does this. I am 100% unapologetically, authentically me every single day. I very rarely wear makeup because I'm a hot, sweaty mess. And chances are that the same workout apparel you saw me in the morning is the same workout outfit that I'm wearing at 9 p.m. at night. And yeah, it's still sweaty and I'm sitting in it because I had to take the kids to volleyball and make dinner and run this business. And so I'm 100% me. And I know you know that, but your page on Facebook 100% is going to come from you showing up every day as yourself. You do not need to be any one set kind of person to work this business, and your coach has proven that. And while your coach may have blonde hair, there are lots of successful brunettes who make this business work. And there are even men who make this business work. And there are people from all over the country with all different backgrounds, with all different kinds of social media followings that are going to make this business work. My Facebook page grew because of one simple thing. It started with Danielle's Fit Tip of the Day on Fit and Funky. And what I would do is I would take magazines and I would open them up and I would bend my finger around and I would drop my finger on it. And I would take that fitness tip and then I would figure out how to put my own personal spin on it. Because let's be completely honest, nobody's like inventing fitness, right? Like, none of the information we're sharing is like brand new fucking information. Like, none of it is like so jaw-dropping that you've never heard of it before. It's just all how you share it. It's all how you put your own personal spin on it. Like, drink half your body weight in water is like a tip. Like, that's just basic knowledge. But how are you sharing that that's going to come across to your audience? And so I think, that's what Amy for sure does well, and I know that that's what I do well, is that you've got to take any information that you put out and put your voice on it. For those of you that follow me, if you had never heard my actual speaking voice before, you probably already have a good idea in your head what I sounded like, because you can hear my voice in my posts. It's why it drives me batshit crazy when somebody steals my post word for word, because it won't work for you. That's my voice, not yours. You can't steal my words. Now, what you can do is take my words and customize it to fit you. I always say, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to customize them. My husband's Jeep is an example of that, right? Every guy has like a black Jeep, but what he did was, got different wheels and plumbed it out and did all these different things. Well, the same is true with any information that you give out. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, you have to customize it. So when you're looking at your page and it's time to announce your challenge group, you're not going to put out the same freaking posts that you see everybody else doing, because that's not authentic to you. How are you going to get out that same information that 400,000 other people are putting out in such a way that draws a following of your lifers? Here's the deal, you guys. I believe in Beachbody 1000%. That's why I was awarded the CEO award, I assume, this past year at Summit. And the reality is, though, I could sell my followers on social media a bag of dog food. I literally could say, heard this new trend. You want to lose 15 pounds? Here's how you do it. You take this bag of dog food and you smear it all over your skin and you're going to lose 15 pounds. And I probably could sell that. Now, would I? No, of course not. But the point is that my tribe, my lifers, believe me so deep and true to the core. I have built so much trust with them through what I post on social media. I have built up, they believe word for word everything I say, because they know I'm genuine, they know I'm true, they know that what I'm giving them is not just some line of something, that I 100% believe in it, that I could do that, I never would. So my question to you is as you're building your page and as you're building your social, like, do your people like love you? Are they your ride or die following? Like, if somebody says something negative to me on my social media, I don't even have to worry about it, because my ride or diers are on their ass like in a skinny minute. Do your followers love you? And if they don't, why not? Like, what's the missing piece? So if you want to build your page and you want to build your social and you want to build your following, 100% it starts with you showing up every day. Take the information that you were given and customize it. Don't reinvent it. You don't have to do something crazy, but take that and make it fit you so it's 100% authentically you. You can't be me and you can't be Amy, but you can totally be you, and that's what's going to build your social media following. Now, the next thing is, and I know you know this, you've got to go live. You know, pictures are fine and video even is still fine, but you got to go live. And you can't worry, like, is it going to be perfect? So my husband has this thing we call the sickness. And the sickness is this, like, he worries that it has to be perfect and it's permanent and it's this and it's that. So what happens is, he hardly ever posts on social media. Me, I don't care. Don't have makeup on? Oh, well, hair's on top of my head? Don't care. Kids are fighting in the background. It is what it is. Chuma, my cat, is like knocking stuff over and we're yelling at him. Cool, because that's real life. If you are not going live, you are missing the chance to get organic reach. So, yes, did I grow my Facebook page at a time where organic reach was a little bit more prevalent? Yes, but here's the deal. Now you're at a time where you can still get organic reach if you are going live. So you need to go live. And so how you are going to start is you've got to make a list of topics you can go live on that have still show to do with fitness. Because if you are only marketing to fitness people, you are missing the boat. I always say this, people who like golf need to drink Shakeology. People who love to scrapbook could benefit from doing quarter-fours. And people who love, guns and hunting, they probably need to do the ultimate reset every once in a while. Like, so if you're only targeting fitness-minded people, you are missing half the population. So if you like have like the best scrapbooking advice, go live about it. Like, if you have the best golfing tips, go live about it. Some of the best live videos I have ever seen have come from people doing like makeup tutorials or hair tutorials or all these different kinds of, like tutorials on things that are not fitness related whatsoever. So you've got to go live. So don't tell me you've got to pay to play on Facebook, because you don't. If you want to get organic reach, you got to go live and you got to go every day. And guess what? The first time you go live, maybe you have 5 people show up. And the third time you go live, maybe 10 people show up. And you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And next thing you know, you have hundreds of people showing up on your page. And is it uncomfortable? Of course. And do you not know what to say? Of course. And guess what? That makes you imperfect. And that's what people want. Nobody likes perfect. Do you want to know something? Do you know how hard I have to work to get you people to like me? Because in your mind, you're like, oh, she's fit and she has a perfect little husband. And oh, life is so easy for her. That makes it really hard because it seems like I'm perfect. So I have to work really hard to prove to you and show you and to show my followers that I'm not perfect. So go live, figure out what the hell it is you're good at, what you could give advice on, what it is that you can talk about. Do a Q&A for God's sakes. Doesn't even matter, but show up live every single day. And I promise you that your like page is going to grow, and it's going to grow by the right people. It's going to grow by the tribe who loves you and wants to hear what you have to say. Now, I only have 15 minutes, and I think we're coming close to the end of that. So what I'll say is this: if you're not on Snapchat, you need to get on it, and you need to get on it immediately, and here is why. Because Snapchat, well, you could be using Instagram stories, but I like the filters on Snapchat because, the little rose crown filter gives me life. However, on Snapchat gives you a way to truly show your proof the products work in a non-gross way. Like, if you're the girl that takes a picture of you kissing your Shakeology shaker cup, like, I don't like you. Like, you don't love your Shakeology that much, and I love my Shakeology. You don't really need to kiss your shaker cup. However, on Snapchat, what you can do is show me the bag of Shakeology, snap, pouring it into the blender, snap, all the ingredients that you put into it, snap. That's interesting to somebody, right? So for me, what Snap has done has given me the ability to show like everything that I use from my morning energize to, my workout program. I put even, I show my Apple TV and which thing I'm on in a non-gross way, because I would never post those things on Facebook or Instagram, but on Snapchat, I can go, oh, yep, I'm doing agility power today on quarter force on beef jotting on demand, snap, 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 snap. Oh, now I'm going to have my hydrate, pour it in, snap. And it's not gross and it's not icky because it's just naturally part of your day. So if you're not on Snapchat yet and you're like, oh, I'm just not into it, get into it, because it makes showing the vital process and being proof the products work that much easier. Okay, Amy, that's 15 minutes and I'm sitting in the middle of the lobby. So I don't know if that was good or okay, because it's kind of dancing on all over the place. But if you ever want me on like another call, just let me know. I'm happy to give you like a full, hour. Or
yeah.
whatever.
Yes, we will have you on later this year for sure. And thank you so much for remembering. I'm sorry I didn't give you an intro. I was just like, gotta get you on.
Girl, I'm just teasing you. I don't need no intro. It's all fine.
Everybody knows who you are.
Not true. I always say this. I'm only relevant in the Beachbody world. Don't nobody know me at Target. At Target, I go completely unrecognized. Bye, thank you. I will go. Apparently, everyone's leaving the meeting.
No worries. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Sorry. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So, who we got on next? Now we got Raina. Let's see if we can get Raina on. Raina! Hi! You guys, I love Raina. Raina and I got to hang out in Bora Bora, and I'm so happy she made top 10 again because we're going to go to Italy this year, and her friends are awesome. And I don't want to talk too much, but if you guys don't know Raina, you need to know Raina. Her transformation was incredible last year. It's so fun to watch. And I know you're going to talk a lot about that, so I'm going to shut my mouth and jump off. I'm going to let you go for it and take your 15 minutes and do your thing.
Thank you. I got a small little intro. I'm like nervous to follow Danielle though. I'm like, I don't know if I can match her energy. She's amazing. So I just, I'm here to share just with you guys a little bit about my story and about really just the importance of sharing it every single day on social media. I know as a new coach, heck, even as an old coach, how hard it can be to share your story and be open and be vulnerable and do all those things. But you know, sometimes people don't want to, you know, air all their dirty laundry. You don't want to scare people away. You don't want to look weird. Like, I get it. But hopefully after me talking, you guys also get that this is a must. Sharing your story on social media absolutely is a must. Sharing your story is going to allow you to connect with people that the coach next to you isn't going to be able to connect to. It's going to allow you to build trust with people. It's going to allow you to really show an open and vulnerable side that people need to see to build that trust with you. And like Danielle said, you're not trying to attract fitness people in this business. You're trying to build a following of people that love you and trust you. And with that comes, you know, people who believe in what you're doing and want to be there to support you and walk you through it or walk through it with you. So I'm going to share just some benefits to sharing your story, some stories that I've gone through, some things I've learned as a coach over the last 3.5 years that maybe you'll relate to, maybe you'll connect with, maybe you won't, but hopefully it'll inspire you to kind of just put yourself out there a little bit. And my first little point is that sharing your story is really going to help you be a light and an inspiration to other people. It makes you real. Those struggles that you're going through, the journey that you went through prior to being a coach, maybe you're going through it now, all of those things make you real. They make you an inspiration to other people. It was not the easiest thing in the world. I remember when I signed up as a coach and I hit Emerald pretty quick, and so my coach was like, oh my gosh, you're doing so great. You should be on one of our team calls. And so I did a business opportunity call with her, and she asked me to share my story. And if you don't know me and my story, it literally starts out with marriage issues, with a husband that had addiction issues, with me later developing anorexia and bulimia and having all kinds of eating disorders, and then most recently being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and being like in the sickest place I've ever been health-wise. You know, all of these things I shared in the beginning. Sorry, my alarm went off. All these things I shared in the beginning as a coach. Super freaking scary. I'm pretty sure that business opportunity call that I did the very first time, it was literally a week into coaching. That business opportunity call I did, I literally was crying the whole time. And I'm pretty sure I got messages after from people saying, oh my gosh, girl, I'm going through the same thing, or I've been through the same thing, or my husband is doing this. And, you know, sometimes it might turn into more of a therapy session, but it's allowing you to really open up and build trust with people that you weren't able to build trust with before. You know, my anorexia and bulimia, even to this day, I still talk about it a lot because, one, I'm healed from it. I don't struggle with it anymore. So it is easier to talk about when you're not struggling with it in the moment. But I have people reach out all the time saying, you know what, I'm going through the exact same thing, or I'm also having, you know, eating issues and struggling with XYZ, and you know, also have marriage issues, or, you know, again, most recently I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in March, and I was kind of quiet about it up until this most recent flare in October. And so taking that diagnosis and the pain that I'm going through and the sickness and things like that, and opening up about it and being honest about it, has been a game changer. Not that I'm using this disease to grow my business, but I'm using it to reach people that I wouldn't have been able to reach before, and to have just a bigger support system in that. And I think that's really what it's all about. So share, even though it's hard. I'm not saying you need to sign up and say, oh, my husband had affairs and yada, yada, yada. Like, I'm not saying any of that, but share where you are, share what you've been through, use anything that you can. Amy does an amazing job at it. She, you know, her and Kevin going through all the sobriety issue, you know, all that stuff, they talk about it frequently. And I guarantee you it's a huge part of their business and a huge part of the people they attract, because they've been so open about it. So whatever you have been through, whatever you're going through, take it and seriously consider sharing about it, because you're going to reach a lot of people that you wouldn't normally reach. My second is that people are going to root for you. Okay, this is accountability at its finest. Coaching, this is where the accountability of coaching comes in. Okay, share ways how you the ways you failed, ways that you've bounced back. I always tell people, you know, to sign up as a coach, use that as your accountability, because if you are open and sharing, you know, how you just fell off track, or maybe how we had a bad holiday and you feel super fat and you know what I mean, it was just a bad day. Sharing that and sharing how you're going to bounce back from that, that's what people want to see. That's the kind of accountability people need, and that's the kind of accountability you need, because once you put it out there, then you have to follow it, right? You put out there that you're going to be back on track, or that January 1 we're going to have these New Year's resolutions. If you're not sticking to that resolution, people are watching. Okay, people are watching, and unfortunately a lot of people are waiting for us to fail in this business. They're waiting for you to fall off track. They're waiting for you to eat that cookie, or the 8 cookies, or the jar of dough, you know, the whole damn thing. They're waiting for that. They're waiting for you to fail. So it is your job as a fitness and nutrition coach to not be perfect, not make mistakes, but because you are human, but it's your job to show how to get back on track. And that's what people need. So you need to use it as that motivation to keep going and to stay on track. Understanding what happened and how you handle situations can provide you a lot of clarity on how to do things moving forward. Okay, and that's what your following needs to see. You can also share, you know, key takeaways even alongside your story, so others can learn from it. Giving people something for free, even workout videos, I mean, it goes as far as that, but giving something people something for free is always a great way to help build trust with people and build trust with your following. My third thing, am I doing good on time? I think I'll talk a little bit faster. My third thing, I think I missed one. No, I didn't. Okay, yeah, my third thing. Be the proof. You guys, this is, most recently, not always in my coaching journey have I been the best at this. It's kind of been a whirlwind of weight and body structure and looks and pictures and things like that as I've been coaching. I've not been perfect at all. Again, we are human. We don't need to be perfect. We need to do the very best we can every single day. And again, it's a vital behavior, obviously, for a reason. I don't mean, you know, share your story and ventilate your troubles, but part of it is the fact that you need to share your health and fitness journey every single day. You may not be where you want to be right now, but you have to be open about that and allow that accountability to move you towards where you actually want to be. Okay, I started with P90X, got in the best shape of my life. And if you've heard this story before, just earmuff it for a second, bear with me, because I want to share this because it's super important. But I finished P90X and I got in the best shape of my life. I did T25 after that, right when it was released, and then I did Body Beast right after that. After I did Body Beast, I decided to compete. Biggest mistake of my coaching career, honestly. I competed, did a couple shows, got in great shape, got a following because of it, because it does take a lot of determination and dedication and drive and things like that. So I got a following because of that. But the second I decided to stop competing, I gained 40 pounds literally overnight. I gained it within a month. And I got in the unhealthiest place of my life. Those eating disorders came back. Mentally, I was just like, I didn't even know it was happening. It was literally a blur. Again, I gained all the weight. I didn't commit to any programs because I worked out for so much for so long in the gym for hours on end and eating tilapia, and like I just was over it, like over all the healthy anything. I ate out all the time, just immediately gained all the weight back. You guys, it wasn't until March this year that I basically came out. Okay, I had been faking workout videos. I'd been faking shakes. I'd make them and then not be in the mood for them, so I wouldn't drink them. I would take the pictures and post it like I drank it. I was a fraud as a coach. And I came out about all of that in March when I was diagnosed with colitis, because I was either going to have to take this medication for the rest of my life, or I could get back on track with my health and fitness. I am a damn health and fitness coach. Like, of course, that's going to be my main focus. I'm not going to have to take this medication forever, right? So I shared every aspect of it. I shared every single aspect of it. And you guys, when I committed to sharing my story and I committed to opening up about that and allowing people to follow me in this process every single day, you guys, I took pictures every single day in the mirror and shared them every single day when I was 40 pounds overweight. When I was in the process of going through that, I shared transformation pictures every single week because I was like, I have to commit and have these pictures to share weekly. You guys, I completed the Ultimate Reset, and then I did program after program up until early November this year, and just had the most insane transformation in my entire life. Honestly, I'm in better shape than I was when I competed, and I did it all at home, from home, with Shakeology, no equipment, you know what I mean? I did it all from my home, 110% Beachbody programs, and that's what I shared, and that's what I was committed to. And you guys, my business has exploded because I've been able to commit to that, okay? In summary, sharing your story is the only way that shows how relatable you are. You guys, we are human. We have to stay humble. We have to be real. We have to be open. We have to be honest. You know, by doing so, you're going to see how many people come out of the woodwork and how many people are going through the same exact thing that you are. I've had a lot of coaches even come to me saying how they've been struggling with their fitness and nutrition and committing. You guys, people that are going through what you've gone through, people that have gone through it already, I know that somebody has, you know what I mean? And maybe now that person is able to connect with you on a deeper level. And that's how you build a strong relationship with your challengers and your coaches, is by knowing them on that personal level. Those people will come. So my challenge to you guys is to share your story this week. Not the same old story you've shared before, but maybe open up a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more uncomfortable. I don't think you'll regret it. And I guarantee that you'll at least impact one person. And that's really what this business is all about. So I hope this helped. I think I have 1 minute to spare.
It's fine.
No, I finished it.
Hey, sorry.
You're good.
Thank you so much, Raina. I took a bunch of notes.
You're so funny.
I knew you would kill it. It's just been so awesome to watch you on your journey, and I know it's just beginning for you. It's going to be an awesome year.
Thank you.
I know that's exactly what the team needed to hear, so I really appreciate you being open and honest and taking your time to speak with us. And I know it won't be the last time you're on one of our team calls this year.
Good. I'm honored, so I appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So
Loading.
Kevin didn't send Bonnie the link.
No, it's what Bonnie said, it's loading right now.
Okay, it's loading. So we're waiting for Bonnie to get on.
Who else needs to get the link? Make sure we have everybody.
I sent it. Okay, Bonnie's on. I'm promoting her.
Okay.
Bonnie. Hey!
Oh my gosh, I was panicking.
So sorry, Kevin made a boo-boo. Okay, nobody's perfect.
I am.
Thank you so much for jumping on, you guys. If you don't know who Bonnie Engle is, she is a top 10 coach, number 2 in the company this year. Was number 3 last year, 15-star superstar diamond coach. We got to hang out in Bora Bora, and we're going to get to hang out in Italy this year. And she's awesome, and I'm so excited to have you on. I know the team is going to eat you up, so I don't want to take any more of your time on because you only have like 15 minutes. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to let you rock it, because I know you're going to rock it. And take it away, girl.
Okay, I don't see I'm going to screen share because I do have some slides for you guys. So Sarah, I'm fangirling hard too right now. But when Amy first messaged me and asked me to be on the surge, she was like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, no, wait, what do you want me to talk about? So we kind of had a back and forth and decided on mindset, which is something that I don't normally talk about because unlike Amy, I am not super good at policing my imagination or not comparing myself to others. I fall victim to it. Every top coach falls victim to it. So I really want to talk about kind of mindset in a different way. Mindset of moving forward constantly. Mindset of, numbers and achieving and being successful doesn't have to be complicated. I think we have this really mixed up idea in our minds of what successful means. Successful has to mean I know all the answers. It has to mean I'm really good at math. It has to mean I'm just like all the other top 10 coaches. That's not really a mindset that I like people digging into and staying there. And I want to talk about, what is, I'll just share my slides because they're really good. Okay, I hope everybody can see them. So whenever I think of mindset, I always tend to think of like hippy dippy, like meditating in a field type thing, which I'm not good at meditating, and I will be the first person to admit that. But what I find a lot in Beachbody coaching, in newer coaches and coaches who have gotten stuck behind excuses or stuck behind not achieving something, is that they're of a certain mindset because of a couple things. Because it's network marketing, because it's only $40 to sign up, right? Because it's not a quote unquote real job, a 9-to-5 job. You don't have to do the same things as a regular job. You don't have health insurance. All of those things contribute to our mindset, right? So in our mind, when we sign up for Beachbody coaching and it's $40, we kind of have this mindset of, well, I'll try this thing, but we kind of have this backdoor exit, right? And if it doesn't work out, I could just go back to that, or, I'm trying, but it's just not for me. This person has a big following and I'm having a difficult time. So I want to go ahead and tell you guys that that's bullshit. And I think that I'm in good company and I can curse here. I curse a lot on my team calls, so I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but that is bullshit. There is no difference between you and a top coach, between you and someone super successful. The only difference is mindset. Not mindset in a hot yoga room, meditation in a field type of way, but mindset in the way that you need to believe that you are a BAMF, that you can achieve all of those things. Because if you don't believe it, then there is no way you're going to get from point A to point B to where you want to be. That's number one. So I want to talk about the elephant story. Some of you might know this story. Some of you, this might be new to. But I find that this is so parallel to all of my new coaches. I find that when coaches get into the business, they have this kind of plastic chair tying them down. So I read this story in a personal development book. But essentially, there was a guy walking past an elephant trainer. And this 3-ton elephant was tied to a plastic chair. And the guy walked past the elephant trainer and he was like, why does this 3-ton elephant not just run down the street and rip this chair behind him? And the trainers basically explained that when they're little, they train these baby elephants that they cannot move the chair. So through this elephant's entire life, it's been told you are not strong enough to move the chair. And anyone else looking at the elephant can clearly see that is not the case, right? Anyone looking at the elephant can clearly see, of course that elephant could run for miles with that chair attached. He wouldn't even notice. But in the mind of the elephant, he sees this chair as something that can never be moved. And that's a lot of times what society does to us, what school does to us, what other people in our lives do to us, what people on social media do to us. We have grown up thinking, A, that something is too good to be true, right? And then B, that we can't have the same success that somebody else has. So I want to encourage you guys to think about this story. Oh my God, 15 minutes is stressing me out right now because I'm a talker. I want to encourage you guys to think about, what is your plastic chair? What is the thing in your life or in this business that's keeping you tied down that in actuality is not real, right? What is the thing that what's the bullshit story, as Tony Robbins would say, that's tying you to the ground and not letting you run to where you want to go? Have you been told your entire life, I'm not good at math, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't know enough about social media, I don't have a big enough following, whatever it is, right? Identify it, write it down, and then cross it out, tear up the piece of paper, and light it on fire or throw it out the window. Because it is this incredible thing that happens when you realize you're the only thing standing in front of your goal. And then I want you to write down the success that you want. So, for example, maybe you're on this call and you're like, well, I'd like to be a top 10 coach, or I'd like to be a 15-star diamond. But a lot of times what I find is people's mindset traps them from actually writing those things down or committing to them. And you're 85% more likely to actually achieve something if you write it down and recognize it, right? So you're writing down two things. You're writing down sort of your limiting belief or what you've been told, your plastic chair, right? You're ripping it up and putting it in the fire. And then number two, you're writing down what you want to achieve, whether it's 15-star diamond, financially stable, best shape of your life, help 200 people this year, whatever that goal is for you, I want you to write it down. And then I want you to tell a freaking friend about it right now. And I want to tell you guys, I hear so many times, well, what if I fail? What if I say this goal and then I miserably fail? I'll tell you guys a secret. At the beginning of, well, it's not really a secret, but I'll highlight something that I did. At the beginning of 2016, I publicly announced to everybody that I wanted to be top coach. I literally made that a public goal a couple times. And how crazy it didn't happen. But did I crawl in a hole and cry and say, I failed, I can't go on? Absolutely not, because failure is such a large part of this business. And I always hear, I'm stuck behind fear. I don't want to fail. I don't want to let people down. It's too hard to get outside of my comfort zone. But I want you to think of it in a different kind of way, right? Everything is hard. It's hard to be out of shape. It's hard to not like your body, and it's hard to work out, and it's hard to stick to a meal plan, right? You just have to choose which hard it is. And the same thing goes for your business. It is hard to be stuck, not moving forward, thinking you're never going to move, tied to that plastic chair that somebody told you once when you were a kid and you're stuck behind it. It's also hard to get success, right? Both are really hard. You have to choose which mentality you want. Do you want growth mentality or do you want stuck mentality? Do you want to be the 3-ton elephant tied to a plastic chair? Absolutely not. Because without seeing all of you right now on this Zoom, all 200 some of you, I know that there's no difference between you or I or you or Amy. The only difference is the mindset behind those actions. I hear so many people, they're afraid to reach out. They're afraid to not have the right answer. They're afraid to invite people. They're afraid to, what are these people going to think? Are they going to think I'm salesy? Are they going to think I'm icky? I can't invite to the coaching opportunity. I can't invite to a challenge group because I don't know everything about fitness. Here's the crazy thing, and I'll send these slides to Amy if you guys can't see them so you can have them. This is a little checklist for you, but here's the crazy thing. All of a sudden, when your mindset changes about the opportunity and about what you're offering to people, nothing is weird anymore. No conversations are hard. Objections roll off your shoulders. People who don't want to join you, you actually start to feel bad for them because they can't be a part of this insane success. When you change your mindset about inviting, about talking to people, about combating objections, about social media, everything becomes easier. Conversations flow. People start giving you less objections. It is literally magical. So here is kind of like a little checklist, how to grow past that fear, right? How to choose your hard. What do you want to be hard? Do you want the hard to be that you're stuck in the same place that you don't want to be living in for the rest of your life? Or do you want the hard to be that you're literally every day showing up, getting past these fears? For me, I have FOMO about being left out of the success. So for me, my fear is being left where I was before and not moving forward. Here's the other magical thing, right? We're not alone. Every single person who has had success, not just in this business, in life, they've all come from a place of fear, of debt, of turmoil, of overcoming, whether it's internal or external, right? We're not alone. There are people literally achieving anything they want. These people are the people that have done the same thing in their mind with the plastic chair that you guys are going to be able to do with your business. There's something really freeing about realizing that there are other people who have gone the path before you, right? So what I would suggest doing is if you're on this call and you're like, and this was a game changer for me, and you're sort of like, well, I'd love to be a top 10 coach, but I have 2 kids and I work a full-time job and, you know, I'm just not sure how to get there. Find someone in the network who has overcome some of the same things that you have. So maybe they have the same story as you. Maybe they're like me and don't have children yet and is just a dog mom of 2 fluffy dogs. Maybe they came from the same place as you. Maybe they overcame the same mental, physical, emotional issues as you. Go get in touch with them, find out how they got over those mental things, and work with them, observe them, create the same thing that they did. Success leaves clues, and this is amazing for your mindset. When I first got into the business, the reason that I signed up and the reason that I joined was because my coach was showcasing so blatantly how she overcame the same exact things that I did. And that both gave me power, right, to run away from the plastic chair, to run away from, I won't be successful, I can't post on social media because of what people think, I'm in $200,000 worth of defaulted debt, Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. Those were my plastic chairs, right? So as a result of that, the trickle effect in my business was my messages were weird. I wasn't confident. Nobody wants to join a team or a challenge when you're inviting people like, so there's this thing and it's kind of cool. I guess it works for some other people, but I don't really know if it works for me. No, everybody wants to join the team of the confident person, of the person who says, I don't know everything I'm talking about and I don't know all the answers, but I know I freaking love this. And I know it's going to be successful, so do you want to come with me? That's the team that people want to join. So if you are not working on mindset, if you are not working on in your head, you're already successful. In your head, you're already broken free of your plastic chair. Then you are the only thing that's holding yourself back in the business. Fear of failure is fake. Fear of reaching out is fake. The only thing holding you back is that. You guys know what to do. You have an incredible upline. You have somebody showing you the example. I mean, she's been in the top 10 like 65 times now. She can show you the way. All you guys have to do is do it, right? And the only difference is action and time. That's the only difference between someone successful in this business and somebody who's kind of lagging behind. This is a little checklist, right? You know what to do. So where's the missing link? Right? Your coach tells you the 4 vital behaviors, but you think why you can't do the 4 vital behaviors. The only key to this business is action. And the funniest thing, when you take action, that plastic chair starts to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And you start to feel all of these things and have this confidence and move forward. When your mentor tells you where to find a document to explain everything, you think in your head, if you're still tied to the plastic chair, well, the document didn't answer all your questions, right? So you have to ask yourself, are you asking just to have an excuse, or do you really want the answers to move forward? Your coach tells you your inviting is really important and Success Club is your goal, but you stare at the computer and wonder what other people will think. This is kind of just to show you an action mindset, right? What your coach is telling you versus what that plastic chair turns into in your mind. Once you abolish that and you start to tell yourself, there's nothing different about me than about Bonnie or Amy. I literally get nervous telling people that because watch out. That's the only difference between success in this business and failure in this business. Boom, right on the dot, 10 o'clock. That's all I have.
Hey, thank you, Bonnie. You killed it. You're awesome. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. I know they ate that up. I'll see you in a couple months. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys. We have our special surprise guest on next. Any guesses who it is? Let me see if she is on. It's a she. Oh, she just jumped on. All right, you guys. So I have the pleasure of announcing our surprise guest, Jericho McMathews, Core de Force super trainer. My hashtag girl crush, women crush Wednesday. Just love her to death. She got me shredded and is getting me shredded currently. And I'm so excited to have her on. So let me bring you on, Jericho. I'm promoting her to presenter. Yay! Thank you so much for coming on. So basically, you can just talk for 15 minutes and talk about whatever you want. They're just going to be totally fangirling the fact that you're even here. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This is so cool. So how are you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and congratulations on Core de Force, like totally crushing it. I'm in my second round right now.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Yeah, we are, gosh, right now our big focus is live. We're doing a lot with live. We taught again today, we taught yesterday, so we're kind of testing it in the field right now and getting some feedback. But it's great. We're having a lot of fun with it. So it's crazy what a whirlwind it's been, just creating the home program, and we're getting so many people asking, oh my gosh, is there another Core de Force coming out? Are you guys going to do more workouts? And like it literally only publicly launched 1 month ago. So I guess it's good that we're getting those questions already, but we're kind of just letting the home kit land first, making the live program, and excited to roll it out. But it's a little more free time than I've had, because I jumped right into creating it after I had Beck. So it was a really, really busy year. And 2 moves. We actually just moved again. We're living at Playa del Rey now. We moved from Orange County, which is a lot more laid back. It's, for those of you guys that don't know, it's a beach town, hour and a half south of Los Angeles, and we're not really city people. So we really miss the ocean. We miss the beach, and now we're back at the beach, which is great because Bex is like a little beach babe. He loves the running around in the sand. So, but yeah, I'm totally happy to talk about whatever you guys want. To be honest, I hate just talking about myself. So if you guys want to do a Q&A, we can do that. I'd love to,
That makes you
I could talk a little bit about the program, or we can just talk about girl stuff. I don't know how many guys are on the call.
Mostly women, and I know one of us are really excited for live. I know I'm going to be getting certified for live. If you guys have any questions specifically for Jericho that you want to ask, go ahead and ask it.
Do you want to? Maybe I can open the chat box too. Oh, here we go. That's cool.
We got Michael.
Awesome. What's up, you guys? So it seems like a lot of you guys have already done the programs. I'm happy to just like quickly talk about it. I think most people have experienced it, so they know what it is. But so if that's the case, I've done quite a lot of calls, talking about what it is, and you guys have seen all the marketing, so you know what the program is all about. But if there's anything additional that, any questions you have about it that I can help you with, I'd love to answer them. And then also say, for all of you guys out there that have done more than one, or that have done at least one round of it, I hope that you're incorporating now the 2.0 workouts. That's I guess it's called More to Core on BOD. And it's Speed and Shred 2.0. And those were just, we made those in addition to the base kit so that you can start switching out Speed and Shred and really take your workouts up a notch, as well as the deluxe workouts, because those are really killer as well. So hopefully you guys are doing those. And right now we've got a little support group live. Obviously it's January, it's the beginning of the year. Tons of people have resolutions to get, to get healthier. So we've got like, 5,500 or so people in this support group, and just giving them some extra tips and advice and motivation to do Core de Force. So if there's anyone out there that's not in it and you guys are doing Core de Force, just go ahead and ask to be in the group and we'll let you in. We were going to close it off, but I think we're going to keep it open for now. And it's called Fight For It 2017. So we're going to give a lot of cool prizes away. But I will just, let's see, scroll around here if I see any cool questions. And lots of woohoos. Cool. I don't know if I see any questions just yet, but well, I effing love you too, Sarah. Raina says her man's doing quarter force as well. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. I love all this girl power in the group. As a side note, where I'm kind of looking at, oh, well, here's a good question. I'll get to this in just a sec, but I just want to point out, you know, and Amy, you're such a strong leader. I'm drawn to you more than any other coach. I will say that. Just I really vibe with your, you know, everything that you represent. And something, oh, thank you. Something that I really kind of picked up on, and this is kind of not related to quarter force or Beachbody at all, but something that I think for you guys as coaches, something that could be really beneficial just to kind of tune into and be open to is this, I mean, everything that's happened with the election, and I think a lot of, I'll speak for myself and just go there, even though I don't really talk politics. I was disappointed with the results of the election. But there is this force of, you know, I see this everywhere, the future is female, and there's such an amazing, empowering kind of trend going on for women. And it's funny because a couple years ago, before I became a mom, I had a lot more time to kind of flip through magazines. When I was flying a lot, traveling with Les Mills, I would always, you know, bring some magazines, fitness magazines, whatever, even Hollywood trash stuff that would just entertain me while I'm flying. And a couple years fly by now, anytime I see them and I'm flipping through them, I'm just seeing this completely different, you know, message from women toward women. There's this huge body positive message, which I love. It's not all about, you know, being one shape or size that says that we're fit and healthy. And then, you know, just all, instead of women tearing each other down, we're all banding together and we're, you know, we're supporting each other more, which I really love. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. I think that we're making big changes. And so I'm inspired by all of you guys that, you know, they're out there as leaders, you know, being strong moms, being, you know, women bosses, and a lot of you are moms as well. And so for me, that's become a huge reality check and just priority shifting, but being able to kind of keep this going and represent that we can still be strong and empower and juggle the way that we do, even though it's not always easy and we're not perfect at it. So that was the question that I saw in here. It says, can you talk about juggling mommyhood and being a boss? So I'll tell you what, and you can probably hear my little guy running around upstairs. Hi, buddy, I'm down here. We just had dinner and bath time, and I helped him get him in his jammies and shot him upstairs to play with his dad while I jumped on the call. So it's messy, right? Being a mom is messy. Days are not always perfect. I run late sometimes. And, you know, creating quarter force right after having my son was really challenging. I didn't know what it was going to be like. Before him, it was just me. I mean, I was, you know, with my husband, but we both work in fitness, and like we kind of go to the gym whenever we wanted to and make our own schedule for the most part. So my whole concept of time has completely changed. And something that is really important for me that I'm still working on getting better at is just managing my time and making the most of my time, because, you know, time is everything, right? So I just roll with it, and I try to really enjoy every moment I can with him. It's so important to me. I don't want to. I'll be there in a little bit, buddy. Mama, can you guys hear him? But yeah, so it's challenging, and all I gotta say to all of you guys that are moms out there that have more than one, I look up to you. You guys are my hero. It's challenging enough chasing my little dude around everywhere. He's in everything right now. And I talk to moms out there that have 2, 3, 4 kids, and I'm just like, wow, I don't know how you do it, especially those of you that work from home. It's really, really challenging. So I guess any tips I have for that is do not beat yourself up, and, you know, be patient with yourself. And all this mom shaming that goes on, all this judging, that totally needs to stop. And we need to band together, love ourselves more, love each other more, and just focus on being more positive. And that's what I think about that. So let's see. I haven't scrolled down, but I think there's quite a lot of questions coming through. So let's see here. Oh, someone says, how do you never get tired in the videos? It's so amazing. That's awesome. Thank you, Ellen. I do get tired. I did get tired in the videos, but I will be totally honest with you. I worked my ass off to get my fitness back when we shot quarter force. So we were teaching 2 test groups a day, and I was not sleeping a whole lot. My son didn't sleep till he was 8 months old through the night. And so it was just a lot of just doing adrenaline probably, right? And especially when we were shooting. And at that time I was breastfeeding. I'm actually still breastfeeding, but I'm really slowing that down. Just right now we're once a day because my little dude's getting big. But yeah, I was pumping every 3 hours. So it was just all about fueling myself to make sure I had energy. And I did do a lot of work leading up to the filming to make sure that my fitness was up there. Because for me, at least, you know, I'm not really motivated unless the person, you know, if I'm taking a workout, for example, I want the instructor to be right there next to me working as hard or harder so that I'm inspired. So for me, I personally find that motivating, and that's my style of teaching. I like working really, really hard. So hopefully that motivates you guys as well. But thank you, I appreciate that. And let's see here. Will we get some new quarter force workouts on BOD? So I kind of covered this a couple minutes ago, but I really hope so. We got 2.0s right now, deluxe workouts, and we're working on live. So I just was scrolling through my calendar a few minutes ago before I jumped on here, and saw all the dates that we're filming quarter force live. So for you guys, anyone out there that's planning on teaching, just so you know, this is kind of cool, but Joel and I are definitely slotted to be in at least the first 6 rounds. You know, teaching group fitness that's our background, that's our jam. So we're very involved in the live format. So let's see here. How did I talk about my background and how I came to develop quarter force? Well, some of you guys may or may not know from previous conversations. So my background is working with Les Mills. So Les Mills is a group fitness company. They're based in Auckland, New Zealand, and they create group fitness programming for health clubs all over the world. And I'll go through this quickly, but I started as an instructor teaching group fitness classes. I got certified in a lot of those formats. And then after I finished school, I jumped into an opportunity to become a master trainer for Les Mills. So I did that for about a decade and traveled all over the States and all over the world. That's how I met my husband. He's from Sweden. He was also working with Les Mills. And he came over here to the States in 2005 when they were really looking to recruit and train their national trainer team. And I was a part of that boot camp to become a trainer. And we just kind of fell in love. That's how it happened. And so it was a really fun, adventurous, it was kind of all through my 20s. I traveled and grew a lot and got a lot of cool presenting opportunities at different, you know, fitness conventions and, you know, educating instructors. And then we partnered with Beachbody. Les Mills partnered with them in 2011, I believe it was. So we shot Les Mills Pump, and then Les Mills Combat was shot. So Joel and I started really working together during that process. And at the time I was living in New York and moved back to Southern California. And couple years down the road, fast forward, you guys, if you were around during that time, the partnership kind of dissolved. And I was pretty bummed about it. But shortly thereafter came a phone call from Carl Deichler and Jonathan Gelfin. And they were wanting to know if I wanted to consider coming to jump ship. and so it was the right time for me. A lot was changing in my life. I've been doing the Les Mills trainer thing for a while and was looking for more of a challenge. And I was also pregnant, and that, you know, to me, my priorities were changing. I knew I wanted to be home more. And I mean, honestly, becoming a super trainer, they call super trainers. I've never really understood the title so much, but the opportunity to you know, create a home fitness program or more than one, and to reach so many more people on that level that I've been doing on a smaller level for so many years, it's like hitting the jackpot if you do what I do. You know, so background, personal training, teaching group fitness, and then my professional background mainly was Les Mills before Beachbody. So yeah, now I'm here and I'm loving my time with you guys. Let's see, when does live certification start? Look for it mid-summer. So we're aiming for sometime July-ish for you guys. Should I keep scrolling, Amy?
I don't want to keep you any longer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm.
They will ask you questions for hours and hours. Maybe we can get you on in a couple of months or so when some things slow down with the live stuff, maybe for like a team call.
Yeah, I would love that. You guys, I don't mind answering more questions and talking, and especially if you want to do it again. A lot of these questions, I'm scrolling down, I'm seeing a few more. This is good stuff. I'm going to be probably going live soon. If I don't do it this week, I'll do it next week. And I'm going to cover a lot of these questions because I get them a lot. And when I took over the Beachbody Live the other day, I got a lot of questions and I didn't get to a lot of them. And some of these are the same. So if you guys want to just stay tuned in to Instagram and my Facebook account. I will be going live. I'll try to hit all your questions. If you think of something between now and then, I'd love to answer it for you guys. But thank you for having me on the call. This is great.
It was so good to see you, and I'm totally
You
can't
guys.
wait to get certified to teach quarter force and to work out with you. And
Yeah.
right, you're going to be in the Dominican Republic.
Yes. I just put the dates on the calendar. So I guess it's 2 weekends though, right?
Yeah, so you'll be there
Is
for
it 2 weekends?
I guess you'll be there for longer than us. Like,
No, I'm not. You want to know which weekend I'm there?
yeah.
I just have my phone out. Oh wait, here. Because I don't think they're splitting us up, but I think Joel and I will be there obviously one weekend, and then some of the other trainers are going to obviously cover the other weekend. So what are the dates? The 7th? No.
That's a good question.
Is this April?
It's in April.
Oh, no, it's March.
It's definitely in April, but I'm gonna, yeah.
Okay, we're there the last weekend.
Yes!
So April
That's
26th
awesome.
to 21st.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
Sweet. I'm
So
excited.
you can count on us for that. And yeah, I'll be stoked. And if you guys aren't going to, hopefully you're all going to Success Club, but if not, we will definitely see you hopefully in New Orleans. I just looked at the calendar. It's on my birthday. So super workout. I will be celebrating my birthday teaching the super workout, which is kind of cool.
Do you know if they're going to be doing quarter force live certifications at Summit by chance? Do you know that yet?
I'm probably not just supposed to say this,
I
but
don't want you to get in trouble.
yeah.
No problem.
I will say this. I know that we want to create like a massive quarter force training, and Joel and I will be there, heading it up with our team. So yes, I would, I mean, look, they always launch training at Summit. So
It's true.
unofficially, that's the plan.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Well, so good to see you.
Thanks. Great to see you too.
Yeah. I just am so stoked to see you, and I'll see you on social media, and I'll see you soon, and thank you again. And
You guys rock. Thank you. Happy New Year. And I'm going to just copy and paste all these questions. I'm going to keep them and be on the lookout if you guys want to go live. And again, if you want to jump into Fight for It 2017, everybody's welcome. Jump in there. We'd love to give you guys some extra support for quarter force.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that was awesome. I love Jericho. All right. So now we have Moira Kucaba. So that was the end of our guest speakers from other teams from the network. Now we're going to jump right into our top coaches from Team Set Your Soul on Fire. We're going to kick it off with Moira Kucaba. As you guys know already, she went from Diamond to 7-star in a year. And I do believe in her first year, she was a 6-figure earner. That's what I heard. Hey! I don't know, can I hear you? I can't hear you. I think you're muted. I don't have you. There you go.
Okay, that was so amazing. I mean, quarter force has changed my life. Like, I am the weights girl that does not like cardio, that did not want to do quarter force, and I can't stop doing it. Like, I just can't. I can't stop doing it. It's amazing. So thank you for pulling those strings and getting her on. That was such a treat. And so amazing to see Danielle and Raina and Bonnie, and to truly ridiculously honored to be in this lineup. And I know we're a little bit short on time, so I'm going to talk quick. What's that? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk quick. And what I was I was thinking about what I want to talk about. I love talking about mindset. Bonnie, snatched mindset, and that's good because I kind of need to be talking about other stuff. And what we were talking about is just the fact that, I was a diamond coach at this time last year, and now I'm a 7-star, and how that happened. And so I kind of didn't obviously think about it on the front end because I didn't know that was happening this time last year. I was just doing everything that I was told. And so I love what Bonnie was saying. This is the only difference between me and somebody else is action. Action, 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 action. And I think one thing that I've recognized that I don't talk about enough is the amount of work that it takes to do that. This past year was the hardest I've ever worked in my life. And until this next year, I think 2017 is going to be more work because of my goals. And, we see Bonnie and we see Raina and we see Amy and you guys see me on calls where it's like, the day is over. We're kind of like chill and relaxed and chit-chatting about mindset and things like this. But what you don't see is the fact that like my workday brings me to my knees a lot. Like today, I felt like I couldn't see straight. I had to go to the grocery store and I literally was like crumbling, that I just didn't have anything left. And that's because I went a million miles an hour from the second I woke up at 5 a.m. until I picked my kids up at 3. And I love that I have 2 kids, and that's mindset. I love that I have 2 kids and I only have this time frame to work during the day when they're at school because I really have to work really smart and get things done. And I'm really always trying to figure out how I can work more efficiently, because I have the same exact 24 hours in a day as everyone else, but I know I can maximize those. So truly what I did when I got here was I looked at the winners. I looked at the people that were successful and I emulated what they were doing, and I watched their YouTube videos and I followed direction. And they said do X, Y, and Z, and I did X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Every single thing, even from the framework that what Beachbody puts on the business activity tracker, it is as simple as if you talk to 2 new people every single day about a challenge and 2 new people every single day about coaching, you'll be a 10-star diamond, like in a year or 2. Like it is that simple. And people complicate the heck out of it. But it is, then all of a sudden, so you do 2 people every single day, you've got 60 people at the end of the month, then you've got 120 people, then you've got 180 people, then you've got 400 people, and you're having to follow up with all of those people. So I can remember that very first month, like sending 40 invitations out, 40 messages or 40 emails and saying, this is what I'm doing. I'd love for you to join me. And then the next, maybe 3 of them said yes. And so I had 37 people to follow up with the next month. And then, but I was adding people and I was talking to more people. So in a very, very short amount of time, you're going to have a list of 500 people. And this is what kills me when people are like, I don't have anyone to invite. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? If you just follow these simple directions, you will have a list of 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and then you can't keep up and you can't message that many people. But I will also tell you what I did, and I kind of want to speak to the onboarding challengers and the building the team and just kind of what I feel like I did there. I had really big goals when I decided after a few months. I didn't do this in the beginning. I hit Success Club by the skin of my teeth the first few months. But when I decided to go all in, because I realized this gigantic opportunity, and again, what Bonnie was saying about like some, people come in and they don't really, nobody has to pay, nobody has to invest to become a Beachbody coach. And you might think you do. You don't. I have invested in my own businesses. This is not an investment. And so you don't put the value there. You don't realize that there is $1 million opportunity sitting in front of you. And just like we said before, the only difference between me and Amy or me and Bonnie is mindset. I can remember this exact month last year going, I'm only have recruited like 3 coaches a month. How am I ever going to recruit 20 or 30 coaches like these top coaches? And I remember saying to myself you got to talk yourself off the ledge over and over again. I can remember saying to myself, they are not smarter than me, and they do not I can work just as hard as them. Like, I can learn what they learned, and I can work as hard as they work. And so I was looking, you have to give yourself these pep talks to shift your mindset and to shift your belief systems. Because if you're just sitting there playing the comparison game, it's going to take you out really, really quick. So what I did, though, when I was onboarding all these challengers and I was trying to get, I've got my SC points on my whiteboard here, and I started hitting 32, 49, 37, 37, 44, those types of numbers, I was inviting 200 or 300 people a month. And so I feel like I made myself absolutely miserable in the short term for the long term, and I can always do that. I work well that way. So, but again, when I say miserable, that meant I was taking like 1 week of the month and buckling down and putting my blinders down and talking to 200 people. And that was not fun for me. And there was smoke coming out of my ears. But that was 1 week. And I knew what that was going to get me on the other side of that. And there's a quote that like, successful people just are willing to be uncomfortable longer. And I really believe that. Today, knowing that I was going to do this call and hitting this wall at 3:00 today where I was like about to crumble and I felt like I was going to cry because I had just spent everything, I had just gone so hard all day. I was thinking, I don't think there's a lot of people that probably work this hard, and I'm not saying I work harder than you, but that is a piece of it. If you want these big goals, I have so much respect for these top 10 coaches because it's the hardest thing in the world. And we can all tell ourselves things. I can remember back in the day being like, well, Amy has 50,000 followers on Instagram. This must not be that hard for her anymore. Bullshit. She works her ass off harder than anyone I've ever known. When we were in Puerto Rico and she's like, we're not supposed to be working. And I was like, this is you not working? Like, oh my God, I've never seen somebody work that much. I have so much respect for her and all these other girls. And so that was kind of that is still my challenger thing. I was in Hawaii and I didn't realize this until I got back and some of my team pointed it out to me. I was in Hawaii over Christmas, New Year's, and I came back on the 3rd of January at like SC 30. And they were like, how the heck did that happen? And I was like, because I pre-planned it. I had all those conversations going in the end of December. I knew exactly what I was going to do to talk about trying to work really efficiently when I was in Hawaii. So I didn't have to take that much time away from my family. So you got to work really hard and you got to work really smart. So that's kind of the challenger part. And I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next like 5 minutes. But there are some things that I can look back on last year that, like I said in the beginning, I didn't know was happening until I got to 7-star in December, and I had to look back and go, how'd that happen? How did 7 diamonds grow up on my team? And so what I was able to look back on was, and this is so important if you're new, so important. Now, Amy can't do this. I'm starting to get to the point where I can't do this anymore. But what I did, as soon as I got a coach that remotely wanted to work the business, I set up weekly calls with them. Like every single Tuesday at 10 o'clock, Sarah and I, we have a phone appointment, and I made sure that I commanded that respect because I see a lot of times coaches try to do that and they're like, well, they don't call and, it doesn't happen. I'm like, well, you gotta make sure they know that your time is important and, there's gotta be some mutual respect there. So I probably had 10 coaches at the time that were working the business. And I had 10 calls and they were supposed to be 30-minute calls. They always ended up being an hour. So in the beginning, before I was, had a bigger business, you have time. If you have 2 coaches, you have 2 hours a week to devote to them to walk them through it. Now, there is a very, very fine line between holding people's hands and, setting them free because you can hold hands way too much. And so you've got to learn how to balance that. But I think what is so key is having those one-on-one calls, especially when you have the time in your business to have them, to work with those coaches every single week. And a lot of those girls, we would get on the phone and they'd be like, I'm so sorry, I just haven't done anything this week. And I'd be like, that's okay. But like, we would have an opportunity where if we weren't having that check-in once a week, they would have probably fallen off because, you know, we just had the opportunity to have the connection and for me to get their wheels turning again and thinking about things that they weren't thinking about. And so that was key. But the other thing that we did, and again, this is going to work for some people and it's not going to work for other people, depending on how your challenge groups and your business looks. But in the beginning, we co-led a challenge group. So a lot of me and those girls that are now my diamonds, we were, you know, on a Zoom call or on a text thread, like masterminding about how we could make this challenge group awesome. And they had just become brand new coaches and they were on fire about being part of something and part of a team that were changing people's lives. And we would be talking about other people's challengers and how I could help them and that person could help them. And, you know, my people would ask me about recipes and I'd say, you need to talk to Maggie because I don't cook. Things like that. Like, it was such this fun synergy. And I think that built our team culture so much and allowed us to just naturally like bond because we were co-leading. And then of course, all of those girls, you know, started to become so successful enough that it was like, well, it just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work when you have 25 challengers in, you know, my challenge group, which is I don't ever consider it my challenge group. But obviously, if you need to start mentoring coaches, then you need your own group to bring those coaches in so that they can do the exact same thing. So I think those things, looking back, were really key. But again, I think what is super important is, you know, that team culture, and that when you have that tight of a team and you have people kind of come in together and you need to be onboarding enough coaches that people are coming in kind of together at the same time. And that, you know, this person hits emerald, that person hits emerald, this person hits diamond, that person's not going to be left behind. They're going to hit diamond. And then the person that came in right behind them is like, well, shit, 3 people just hit diamond. I got to hit diamond. So there is there's a ton of truth to momentum builds momentum. And it's hard to get that going if it's not there. But, you know, that is key. Team culture is key. Mentoring your new coaches if and when you have time is key. And leading from the front. You know, if I wasn't hitting Success Club 50, I was having coaches come in behind me that were just hitting Success Club 20 and Success Club 30. If I had been hitting Success Club 6, I can guarantee you nobody on my team would have been hitting 20 and 30. So you have to lead from the front. I am going to wrap it up with that. This has been so much fun. It's been such a great night. And it's just, I'm so thrilled that you put this together, Amy. I love you dearly. You are such a blessing in my life. And over and out. That's it.
Thank you, Moira. This was actually Moira's idea. So.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, you was. You were like, hey, we should do a search. And then I put together the whole thing.
I don't even.
But thanks for the idea. Now that I've done it, it seems much more easy now that it's been done. So
yeah, totally.
Bring on. Love you.
Love you too.
Mwah. Okay, so now we have Miss Jaclyn Hughes on, and she is a mama and a former elite coach. And let me see, I gotta find her. Jay, where are you? Jay. And she is actually expecting baby 2 on the way and is sharing that journey. Oh, Moira's back on, drinking her wine.
Okay, I hit leave meeting.
Not wine. I don't know what you're drinking because I know it's not wine.
It's not. I hit leave meeting and it kicked me out. So I just clicked the Zoom link to come back in. How do I get out of here?
That's so funny. I'm like, oh wait, Moira doesn't drink wine. I don't know how to get you off, but I'm going to promote Jaclyn and maybe they'll kick you off.
Okay, that'll probably do it.
But it might make you both on. Maybe just stop your video. Nope, you're still here.
Stop video. Did that work?
Nope, you're still on.
I am? I can't see myself anymore. What do I hit? Because if I hit leave meeting, I go, like, it shuts me down. I don't see you guys.
Leave meeting. Or maybe leave and jump back on.
That's what I just did. That's why I popped back on.
Oh. Sorry, Jaclyn. We'll figure this out. Hold on. Let me find Moira in my chat thread. And
Yeah, I think you might need to do something on your end. I don't know.
Because the last speaker is just left, so I guess that's why.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Just turn off your, I'll just put a speaker view, and once you stop talking and Jaclyn starts talking, it'll jump up. So yeah, sorry, it's just gonna be a bunch of boxes up there. So Jaclyn is on. Jaclyn is very special to me. She is one of our, she was elite coach 2 years in a row, right? 2 years in a row, and she has been sharing her new pregnancy journey on social media, and I don't remember, Moira, turn off your video. Stop turning your video back on. And I don't remember your topic, so I'm going to stop talking and let you go on so that you can share all of your wisdom. Jaclyn has built an incredible team, an incredible business, and I can't wait for you guys to hear from her, coming all the way from Hawaii.
All right, here we go. Hey guys, how are you? I'm super stoked to be on tonight because the topic that I'm going to be speaking on hits very close to home with where I'm at in my business right now, and it's so poignant for all of us to really embrace the concept. But first, just to give you a little tee up, because there might be some of you that don't know who I am one of Mereidth Gnau's personally sponsored coaches. She and I started within a month of one another, went elite in our first year, went elite in our second year, and this was our third year. With that, I'm also a military spouse. We live in Hawaii, and I have a 5-year-old little one and one on the way, which is a recent development we've been trying for the last year. So I share that because it has to do with everything we've heard tonight. We've heard some from powerhouse coaches, right? Top 10, huge ambition, aspirational coaches. We have Amy to look up to. We have Moira and all these amazing stories. And for all intents and purposes, those first 2 years, I was on the same track, growing 5-star diamond. Mereidth and I were having these amazing teams and amazing growth. And then in year 3, things kind of shifted for me. And I think a lot of us find ourselves in that position. And that's why I want to just talk to you about tonight's topic, which is failing forward. But I want to caveat that failing forward and slash failing out and kind of say growing forward, because I truly believe that the choices I made this last year were very intentional, and I don't see that as a failure. I see it as an opportunity for growth in moving forward, and that in all that we've heard tonight, there's so much mindset and stories and social media and components and making sure we don't fall into the comparison game. But there's not often that talking about the different ways that you can go about success in this business. And for me, I got to the end of year 1 not even knowing how to hit a lead, but just kind of hitting those markers, setting that precedent, getting their team excited, having everybody join me in the challenge groups because I was excited, they were excited, we grew. And in year 2, once we had made that goal of elite, then there was something like kind of that shifted gears for us as a team. It was now something we were working toward. And I made some mistakes and I didn't like it at the end of year 2. If I'm being fully transparent, I didn't like where we were going and how things had changed from how we were so excited and it was organic to how we started measuring our success in the business, because we are a lot of people on our team that are pearls and heart-minded people, and the numbers started to creep in and it wasn't the same dynamic. So I made myself a promise that going into year 3, I was going to tune into different elements of my business, but I was going to stay consistent. And I want to share with you some of the mistakes, some of the things I'm doing differently now. But because a lot of the things that I did were choices, I look back and I am happy, even though I didn't meet the goal that I had set out to meet in finishing year 3 as elite, having that 3rd year, it stings. But also recognizing that through all the opportunities I've had to meet other coaches on the team, that success can be measured so differently across the whole network. There are coaches that maybe you don't know their names, but then in the wall they'll be posted as $1 million earners because they've chosen to grow their businesses differently and focus on different elements. And I think we can be more useful to all of you if you understand that if you don't have a desire, I don't personally have a desire to be a top 10 coach. For me, especially right now in the phase of my life, and that may change at some point where I am, being a single parent a lot of the time with my husband gone, knowing my daughter's going to school next year, focusing on our pregnancy journey, I wanted to set more realistic goals for me right now. And it's not a matter of my not believing that I can. My mindset totally knows that if I was willing to do the work. But this leads me into the steps that I want to share with you in just a moment of how you can kind of set yourself on the track to build what the business that you most want to lead looks like. So some of the mistakes I made was I overthought, and I realized this, I think on last year's Success Club trip, that I knew I was a perfectionist and that I tend to plan too much, but Amy got on stage on the top 10 panel and they said, Amy, what is the number one thing that is you see in a coach happening and you know that it's going to lead to them, you know, falling out or having issues? And she goes, when you think too much. And I thought to myself, oh my God, she's right. Like, it's true, because I get in my head, and thinking too much can mean that you just overanalyze or you compare and you don't act. Thinking keeps you from just acting, making those mistakes, and failing forward. It inhibits the process. So in that, I know looking back that I was overthinking, that I was comparing, that I wasn't staying in tune with what was most important to me in the goals, and I was chasing shiny carrots. And what I say by that is I didn't know why I was going for elite in my heart. Like, that goal didn't have a personal touch to me anymore until this year and not making it. And now I can tell you why it's important to me. So when you're looking at your goals, when you're looking at things that you want in this business, I think it's so important that you do these 6 steps, and I'll give you an optional 7th one. First, get really, really crystal clear on what you want for your life, for your business, for your goals overall, like all of it. Get clear on what you want that to look like, not just in the end, but in the process, because we are living this life day by day, and you have to love what you're doing and change your mindset around it and learn to fall in love with the process. But you need to be clear, like crystal clear. Tony Robbins calls this your blueprint. You need to map it out. And that's another key component, being your personal development, which is going to factor in. Number 2, take massive action. You're going to need to decide and cut off from all other options. Deciding and truly making that decision means you're cutting everything off and you're going exactly for that and harnessing your personal power. Number 3 is know what you're getting as a result of your actions. So Moira talked about this. She told you, I knew I was embracing the suck because in the long term, the payoff was going to be worth it for me. And the position in which I found myself was, do I want to embrace the suck, my daughter's last year at home with me, or and for that long-term payoff, or do I want to more moderate my activity at this stage, knowing that full well I can jump back in or still be consistent and successful by a different set of terms, and then build out differently. And being different is okay, and I needed to give myself permission to do that. I needed to feel like that was still successful in my mind, and that had a lot of mindset and development and personal development to keep going in the fact that my plan was going to look different than the amazing leaders that I had emulated my business as up to on that point. So number 4, analyze consistently. So you've gotten clear, you started to take massive action, you know what you're going to get as a result of your actions, and be okay with that on both sides. I needed to be okay with the fact that we might not have made a leap based off of what goals I did or did not set for myself in leading as an example. Analyze consistently if it's working or not. That's number 4. You have to be willing to look at the behaviors. Number 3, Sarah, was know what you're getting as a result of your actions. Whether that's positive or whether that's negative, you need to know both ends of it. Analyze consistently is number 4, whether it's working. And flexibility is power, guys. If you aren't willing to be flexible and change your approach, if you aren't willing to recognize that things you're doing are just wasting your efforts and your time, then you aren't being efficient. Like Moira said, I'm constantly tweaking how she can make those time frames more efficient so that she doesn't take time away from her family. Make sure you're analyzing your behaviors. Be willing to fail. And this was so hard for me, so hard, like coming up short on a goal. But I had to realize and embrace that I was also succeeding in other areas in my life that mattered more. My relationship was stronger. I was connected with my daughter. I wasn't stressed out for time. The relationships with my coaches were more connected because I wasn't feeling like I was pushing them in an area that they didn't want to be pushed, in an area where I was truly embracing where they were in their journey, and knowing that I needed to attract people that were like me in the business building sense if I wanted to build out to those bigger goals. Number 5 was being willing to fail. Number 6 is change your approach. If you're analyzing and if you're failing forward, again, flexibility is power. So change your approach. Change what it is that you're doing. Tony Robbins gives this amazing example, or this thing that he says, he's like, well, how long do you give a baby to learn how to walk? That's a stupid question. You don't give a baby a time frame to learn how to walk. You just keep encouraging them to do so. And as coaches, we need to be able to give ourselves permission to constantly be trying and trying again and falling down and getting back up. And if you fall short of a goal, I mean, it was a big drop from being an elite 2-time team to not making it in year 3. I had to be okay with knowing that that's part of our story. That's part of where we're going. And it's going to make us stronger to be able to share what our experience was, because if you see somebody that's constantly on the incline and you're not paying attention to all the times that they fall, it can be really easy to be like, well, it's easy for them. It's always been on the up and up. But what happens when they take that nosedive and they still put in the effort and they're working toward it and pulling themselves back from the brink? That for me is inspiring to see. So keep putting that next level of effort forward so that you get ultimately where you want to go. And then number 7 is so much more powerful, because we have this amazing community that we can access. We have Amy and all these amazing aspirational coaches, but like both Bonnie and Moira said, if you want to have something the way that somebody has it, or if you know that they resonate with you and part of your story, or they have a business, maybe you're working full-time and you love your job and you want this to be a supplement, that's okay. Find coaches that have businesses like that and look to them for their guidance and their mentorship. Look at how they build their businesses. It may not look like a top 10 team, but then be okay with that. Be okay with that and align your goals with that. So those are my 7 points. I can run them back again. Sunshine said, okay, I'll run through them one more time and then I'll wrap it up so we can kick it over to Mare. Get clear on your vision and your goals for your life, for your business, what you want. Number 2, take massive action and truly decide. Cut off all other choices. Number 3, know what you're going to get as a result of your action and your inaction. Because either way, you're going to have a result, and you need to be able to reconcile yourself if that's the result that you deserve, because that's the effort that you put in. 4 is analyze consistently whether it's working or not, and know that being flexible gives you power. 5, being willing to fail, embracing the fail, embracing the suck, knowing that you have to get up and learn, and there's really no such thing as failure. There's only massive learning opportunities if you continue to try. And that leads right into 6, which is change your approach. If it's not working, change. Amy's a master at constantly reinventing herself, looking at where she was when I came onto the team to where she is now and what she does. She's an endless source of like this evolution in life. And you have to embrace that. And that's what I needed to do, is evolve this last year into where I needed to be at the moment. And then that last one is role model. And there's no lack of role models in this network and on this team. So you just need to put the time into looking to the people that most resonate with where you are in your journey right now, and know that you can build out and do this however you want. You just have to be willing to work for it. So that's really all I have to share. Hope that was helpful. Amy?
So helpful and amazing as usual. Thank you, Jaclyn.
Love you. All right.
Bye. All right, and closing us out, we have the amazing one and only Mereidth Gnau, who just got back from Mexico and is our newest 3-time Soul Warriors leader. So all these coaches, Jaclyn and Moira, are all on Mereidth's team that she founded called Soul Warriors, and she is my personally sponsored coach, in case you don't know the lineage. So Mereidth started this business in 2013 and has recruited incredible women like Jaclyn and Moira, who have built these incredible businesses and have created their own, teams, just like you're going to create your own teams. And so let me bring her on so that she can close us out with her wisdom and experience. Hey, babe. I will jump off and let you rock it, okay?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hey guys, this is so exciting to have this surge for our team and also to follow so many amazing women. So hopefully I have something good for you in here. But there are 3 basic things that I really wanted to talk about tonight. because there are just 3 things that have come up a lot in my journey that are really important to me, and I feel like they are pivotal to how my business built. The first one is to, probably expected to hear this by now, but to not give up. I can't tell you how many times in building my business I wanted to throw in the towel and just completely give up. I think it was maybe 2 weeks into coaching when I forget if I texted or called Amy, and I was like, I'm quitting this. I'm quitting this. This is too much work. I'm overwhelmed. And I had to really step back and look at the fact that the overwhelm was me putting that on myself. I was the one that wanted to watch every single webinar. I was the one that started to get on YouTube and look at every single training and every single coach out there. I was the one who was digging in the coach online office looking for stuff that I didn't necessarily even need to look at. So I really brought that sort of sense of overwhelm on myself, and I had to allow myself that opportunity to shut down, breathe, step back, and acknowledge that this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. This is a real personal journey that has to take time. I also had to realize that at points when I almost gave up further down the road, not just after 2 weeks, but after months and even after my first year and hitting some really great goals, but then also having some incredible leaders on my team that I gave my time and my heart and my energy to, who I treated like my family and thought were my lifeblood, walk away from the business and quit. And it didn't completely dismantle our friendships, but it really made me lose hope in a lot of ways, because I thought these were the girls that were running with me forever. And so again, I hit those moments where I wanted to give up. And I really had to step back in every given moment and remember what was the original reason why I became a coach. And to be honest, it wasn't, there was a piece of me that wanted a business, of course, that's why I did it. But the original reason why I reached out to Amy was, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to work on myself. I would love to make a little supplemental income on the side helping other people. That would be an amazing thing if that happened. But ultimately, what I need to do is change my habits, to correct my ways that are wrong, to grow myself, to lose weight, to get in my best fitness and my best shape. And generally, every single time I almost quit, it's because I put the business cart before the fitness horse, if you know what I mean. Like I was putting all of my energy into my business, and I saw that something wasn't going right, and I wasn't investing in me and my real personal journey, which is what Beachbody is really all about. So the first thing is not giving up, because if you give up anywhere along the way, you're giving up on yourself. And ultimately, if I would have given up in any of those times, I wouldn't be where I am now. Right? And when I say that, you guys, I have built a life now. I worked very, very hard for my business, but I have financial freedom. It's something I've never experienced before. I've had a job since before it was legal to have a job. My parents instilled a very, very deep work ethic in me. And so to have this thing that I have built and that I've worked hard for, and to see a personal reward in, is insane. But it wouldn't have happened if I gave up, because you don't know when you're going to find the people, and you don't know who the people are that are going to run with you. You just don't. They're going to be the people that you least expect. So don't give up. So that's number one. Number two is kind of segueing into that. You have to see the big picture. So you're not going to give up if you see the big picture, because the big picture is not just about what your business is going to look like in 6 months or in a year from now. It's what it's going to look like in 10 years from now, what your lifestyle is going to look like in 15 and 20 years from now. I learned years back that it takes a small business at least 5 years to get up and off the ground. That means most brick and mortar businesses are in the red for at least 5 years, and most business owners can't even afford to pay themselves. This is the only business I know that you're out of the red in your first month if you invite some family members and help a few people and hit Success Club. So sorry, I have a little bit of a cold that I'm nursing. So when you see the big picture, not only are you seeing this big picture of health and longevity for yourself, but you're seeing a vision for ultimately what your business and what your lifestyle is going to look like in 5, 10, and 20 years from now. And you've got to see, if you see that, you'll realize you can't give up anywhere along the way. And then when you see that vision, get really clear on what it looks like and what it takes to get there. And my guess is if you're working in a health and fitness field, which is what this is, you need to be a leader in the field. You need to be seen as a leader in the field. And that means that you need to invest in your business, which is investing in yourself. And that doesn't necessarily just mean you're investing in personal development or you're buying more boxes of Shakeology to give out samples, or you're investing in any other things for your team. It means that you're investing in growth in yourself to become a leader in your industry. So what is your industry? I look at all the people that spoke tonight. Danielle Natoni, everybody knows her as Fit and Funky. She is like the trainer to go to, right? She was even saying her people know exactly, like she's going to tell them what is good for fitness and what's good for eating and what's good for dieting, and they're going to listen. She's carved out that niche for herself. When I heard from Raina, I know that she's done figure competitions in the past. I know that she's struggled with eating disorders, and I also know that now she's a person to go to if you have ulcerative colitis and you want to know who's healing from it and how they're healing. She's going to be someone to follow. So she's a master in those fields. I look at Amy, and when I first started following Amy, she was doing a lot of vegan stuff. She was doing gardening. And now I look at what she's doing. She's been since certified in PIO and led retreats. And now she's done her Ann Wigmore thing, and she's carved herself out in a more raw foods field. So, I look at even myself, I've had to really analyze my space. And for years prior to doing Beachbody, a lot of you know I was a yoga teacher. I'm studied as a holistic health practitioner, and my sort of niche was Ayurveda. So coming into Beachbody, Ayurveda has been something I've always led with because it's uniquely something that I know and I can offer value in and create a niche for myself in the health field. So I study it. And it doesn't have to be something that you are right now. So you might be like, these are really great things. I would love to know raw foods, or I'd love to know, body competitions, figure competitions. I'd love to know Ayurveda. But you can start learning it right now and invest in that so that you become a master in that field. As a matter of fact, when I learned yoga, when I was teaching yoga at the very beginning, I remember my best teacher saying, just show up to suck. Meaning, like, I would show up to teach a class and there would be like 2 people and I would be the crappiest teacher, and every direction I would give would be wrong, and I'd say things wrong, and I'd forget to do the movements on one side. But it didn't matter because I was showing up and I was learning and I was studying and I was practicing. And in the fact that I knew I wasn't giving that up and I was giving it time to build and grow. I was a yoga teacher for 6 years before I found Beachbody, 8 years before I've retired my job as a yoga for now. I might go back and teach, but I'm enjoying just being a student now. But, 8 years of that, of course, I became very, very good and very well respected for what I was doing. I carved out a niche for myself. When I first started at the yoga studio, I didn't know much about nutrition. I was studying health, but they gave me an opportunity to teach nutrition workshops. And I screwed up and I failed forward, and I just showed up to suck, and I did it until I knew it, until I became really good at it. And that's what you have to do. So, that was the second thing. One more thing. I know I'm really short on time because we went a little bit over, but the last thing that I want to talk about is not letting your physical limitations hold you back. Many of you may or may not know that when I first started my business, I had a very severe back injury. I got through my first challenge, T25, and I got halfway through the gamma round, which was the 3rd month. And my back went out, which I had chronic back injuries. I was used to it, but it went out a different way than ever before. It was very severe. My body went into full spasm, and it was very clear that I couldn't stand. I wasn't going to be able to do anything. I couldn't work out. And in the interim from January all the way through, I think it was like all through February, and then March when I finally got my surgery. There was a month and a half or 2 months there where I was literally paralyzed. I had what's called drop foot, so I lost motor function in my left foot. I had searing pain in my left leg. I couldn't put any pressure on my left leg, and I became bedridden. I literally laid on my back on the couch. I slept on the couch. I wore the same bike pants for like weeks on end because I couldn't walk, and I could put like ice packs in there, but I couldn't even walk to get on the bed. My boyfriend had to carry me to any doctor's appointments. He had to cook for me. It was a very, very sad time in my life. It was also the moment that my why became very, very clear because my job didn't need me anymore. I was a yoga teacher. I didn't have a body that would function, so I couldn't teach yoga. I couldn't walk around the classroom. I couldn't touch and adjust my students. I was bedridden. I had no money coming in, no way to pay my rent, no way to pay my medical bills. So this business that I could run from my laptop all of a sudden became very, very appealing. I was already hitting Success Club. I was already an Emerald coach. So this was my opportunity to change things. And so instead of letting that physical limitation hold me back, I leaned into the coaching opportunity and I started to reach out to people in new ways. And when I recruited for my challenge groups, I was very honest and vulnerable in sharing my journey and telling people, hey, you know what? 21 Day Fix had just come out when this was happening. And I was saying, hey, you guys, I'm going to do this program with you. I can't do the workouts. I physically can't even walk or stand, but I can do the nutrition. I can drink the Shakeology. I can give you an inspiration every single day, and I can have you guys rally for me and help me get the energy I need. We're going to work together as a community. And, you know, I've had many setbacks since where my back's gone out again, or, you know, in the process of rebuilding. Let me tell you, after back surgery, it's not like you're doing surgery. I couldn't even touch my toes for a very, very long time. So, or even bend or twist. So all my workouts, even to this day, are modified. So my results don't look like what some people's results are going to look like because I can't squat as deep and I can't jump as high. I can't even jump some days. So you just have to trust that people need you as a cheerleader and an encourager. They need you to be an inspirer. They need you to lead by example. And as long as you're doing what you can do and you're showing people that you're not going to let your setbacks hold you back, they are going to be inspired to do the very, very same. So don't let your physical limitations hold you back. And those were the 3 things I really wanted to cover tonight. Thank you guys so much for getting on the call. I'll let Amy close it up, but I'm just so excited that I had the opportunity to share that with you because those were probably the most pivotal things that have helped me in my business.
Thank you, Meredith. That was awesome. I took tons of notes. I don't know about you guys, but that was really inspiring to me. Thank you for sharing. Freaking awesome. I'm looking at my notes here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes back to back. And I'm going to close it off with saying this. You know, even 6 years into the business, I don't know it all. And I'm not perfect. Obviously, you heard that a lot. One of the things I always took away from when I saw other coaches who were continuing to grow their business is that they were always hungry to keep learning and always hungry to see what they could do better at and what they can improve at. And for me, you know, I'm constantly looking at my peers and seeing like, okay, what are they doing and how can I improve upon it, you know, and how can I be more like them in a sense where how can I pick up some of the things that they're doing that's working for them and make it work for me. And I just really hope that you see that, like, one of the biggest tips I can give you guys when you listen to things like this, because if you're a new coach or maybe you've been a coach for a little while and you're like, oh my God, this is so much information. How do I turn it into action? Because as you guys know from Jaclyn, massive action is what you got to take. Don't just jump off the surge and then don't take any action. Take 1 or 2 things that you heard on the surge. So these 4 pages of notes, I'm going to take 1 or 2 things and I'm going to apply it immediately. And then after you apply that, so for example, the one-on-one calls, Moira and I are success partners, and it was something that I knew I needed to start doing. I needed to start doing more one-on-one calls, and I can't do it with all my coaches, but I do it with my coaches who are meeting me halfway, who are getting themselves to a point in businesses where I'm like, okay, well, I see they actually are doing this. So they just need a little bit of extra TLC for me to be able to take it to the next level, which is team leader. And so I've been doing weekly one-on-one calls with a lot of my coaches. And so, that's not something that I was doing all last year. But I saw it was something I needed to start doing. So I just applied that one thing. And so, or maybe it's something, maybe you haven't sat down and gotten crystal clear. Maybe you haven't written out a 10-year plan for your life and for your business. Whatever it is that stuck out to you that you're like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can apply that right now. I know I saw Britt like, oh, I need to start doing that. Do a group challenge group with your coaches, and do a communal thing or whatever, to start building that team spirit and that camaraderie. That's all stuff that I did in the beginning of my business that I don't have the luxury of doing now because the team is so big. That's something that I really enjoyed in the beginning, but I don't get to do that anymore because I have so many coaches coming in and so many challenges that they're coming in that it would lose that special touch that you guys get to have as new coaches, that eventually when your teams get as big as this is, you won't get that luxury anymore. And I get to see you guys doing that now, and I get to see coaches helping each other, showing them what they're doing. And so just remember that, like, everybody's at different stages of their businesses. What I do with my business 6 years in is not going to be the same that you do with your business 1 month in. And so it's up to you, like what Mereidth and Jaclyn said, for you to be able to see, how you can make this business work for you and where you're at with your business, and to take a step back sometimes when you're putting yourself into a state of overwhelm and understand that you're the one that's putting yourself there and you're the one that's putting that pressure on yourself, nobody else. And all you really have to do in those moments is step back and be like, all I really need to do this month is hit Success Club, And then when you get the hang of something, then you get to add in something else. Going through and being an overthinker and an over-analyzer and an over-educator is not going to build the business. Massive action is going to build the business, like what Jaclyn said. And I also wanted to point out something that Daniele Natoni said that I really loved and that I really hope that you saw as a gold nugget, about how she doesn't push product on her social media. She more focuses on Daniele, but she does share all of her day-to-day things that she's eating and drinking, including Shakeology, on her Snapchat, which I'm going to take that and start doing it because I share a lot of my life on Snapchat, but I could be sharing, more about Shakeology and when I'm drinking it and when I'm eating, because that's what people really want to know about. But it's not stuff I necessarily love posting on my social media because it's not, I feel like my social media is more motivational and it has to do more with my story. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to apply that. And there's just so much. I could take something from what everybody was saying and just point out to you. So this was really exciting. It was really high energy. It was recorded. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube and make it public, unlisted. So you can listen to it whenever you want. You can send it to your coaches. You can make it part of your new coach training. It is 2 hours. So I don't know if I'll be able to get it on. I'll have to cut it up probably into segments. I got to figure out how to do that for my YouTube. But it was recorded. And at the very least, I'm going to upload it into Team Set Your Soul on Fire because I may not be able to upload it to my YouTube because my YouTube hasn't been letting me upload anything that's longer than 10 minutes right now. So I'll probably just set it to upload in Team Set Your Soul on Fire and we can just keep it in there. But I want to say thank you to all the speakers and thank you to everybody who jumped on tonight. There was a wealth of information and it was 2 hours of information. So I do encourage you to come back to these trainings every so often and be like, and to get yourself unstuck. If you're like, okay, I need some inspiration of something else to like do or to, bring back, to reality. I think a lot of the coaches that were on today all have failed forward and all know what it's like to, fall back and get back on the horse. I know that Daniele has had those experiences with her business. She missed top 10 one year because she didn't know that she had to be elite to be top 10, and I know that Raina, after going from super fit to gaining 40 pounds and having to come out on social media and have to do it all over again, that's not easy, but she did it and now her business is exploding because of it. And it's, and so I don't know, it's just been a really awesome night for me. I'm speaking on the National Wake Up Call on Monday and I really needed this call because it was really inspiring and it really got my juices flowing. And so I do encourage you to listen to a lot of calls like this, listen to past national wake-up calls when you need that little extra oomph, when you need something, some content for your social media, you want something to some something, a topic to talk on go live about. You know, Danielle said go live. You need something to juice you up and to give you something to talk about. Go listen to something, and that juices you up. Go come back to this and listen to it and be like, oh, I have a topic now. You know, you don't need to pull these things out of nowhere. You can go to people and to podcasts and to national wake-up calls, to team calls, and you can listen to all these tons of amazing people who have done the impossible and are not anything special than you are and are making it happen. And if they can do it, just remember that you can do it too. All of us, the only thing we have in common is that we never gave up. We had a vision for what we wanted for our future. We wanted to do this for our health and fitness first, and the business is what followed. And that we all have a strong desire to help other people to see how amazing this opportunity is and how amazing this community is. And I know that if you're on this call, just being on this 2-hour-long call helped you see how amazing this is and how more people need to be on it. You know, it's just, people need this in their lives. Like what Jericho was saying, you know, we need more women empowering women. It's a movement, and you can be a part of that movement, or you can sit back and watch other people do it, or you can be about it, and instead of, you know, wishing that the world would change, you can be the person that's changing it. And there's nothing more powerful than one person helping another. And so I really hope you see that you were put on this planet to do something big and not to watch everybody else live big lives. You were meant to put on this planet to do something big with your life, and not just sit back and watch everybody else do the impossible. That you were put here to also do the impossible, and that you have the power to, you know, show other people what they can do. And I can definitely tell you, as a diamond coach, when I was a diamond coach, I was most passionate about helping other people see their own potential. Nothing bums me out more than when people squash their own potential and have excuses as to why they can't do things or can't achieve the things they want. It's a bummer. I don't like to be around it. And that's why I chose to be a coach, because it's my job to help people see that their potential and to try and drill that into them. And so I really hope that you are seeing your potential through everybody else. And I just want you to know, like, universe or God or whatever you believe in, it speaks to you through people. So when you realize that what people are saying is meant for you to hear, and at that moment for that reason, and you're here for a reason, and synchronicity is real, and everything aligned for you to be here at this very moment, for you to hear the things you need to hear tonight. I really hope you understand that. You take it, you absorb it, and you turn it back around and you pay it forward. Because there are other people in this world who need to hear these things as well. And by you going out and sharing that on your social media and your day-to-day life, and being unrealistic and passionate and just really gung-ho about why you're here and what you're doing, and you won't take anybody's shit, and you're going to make it happen. And like Bonnie said, you're going to stop telling yourself that bullshit story in your head. That actually Tony Robbins says that, but Bonnie just came back from, I think she did UPW last year, so she's like all Tony'd, and that's great. UPW is awesome, and I think most people on this call have been to Tony Robbins, and so Tony Robbins talks about that bullshit story that you keep telling yourself into your head, and that plastic chair. Bonnie told that plastic chair story about, how you all tie yourselves, or we all tie ourselves to this plastic chair bullshit story as to why we can't do things, why we can't look a certain way, why we can't feel a certain way, why our bank accounts look the way they look, and it's up to you to stop telling yourself those stories and to rewrite the story in your head, and to give yourself a gut check and make sure your mindset is in the right places on a daily basis, and be able to recognize when you're telling yourself those stories, like, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, or it's too hard, or it's gonna take too long, or whatever, it's too expensive. People keep telling me it's too expensive. How do I help people not see it's not too? Just stop, rewind the tape, and start over again. And it's up to you to constantly do that on a daily basis. We can't do that for you. So that's a wrap. I wanted to give myself 15 minutes for close, and so I will do the work to get it uploaded in the next couple days. And thank you so much for everybody who joined on. You are what makes this team amazing, and I am so grateful to be able to represent you for another year in the top 10. And I can't wait to celebrate with you guys in Dominican Republic and at Summit. And so just remember, it all starts with Success Club. That's all you got to do is focus on Success Club. Really, it's that easy. And like Moira said, talk to 2 people about becoming a coach a day. and talk to 2 people about becoming challengers a day. That's it. Keep it simple, stupid. Love you guys. Bye.